So, yeah, the timer's going, so that is live now on YouTube. But,
Right.
But obviously it's the middle of the afternoon, so people are probably going to be watching this evening.
Right.
This is Olivia Midgley, who is now the editor of the Farmers
I am.
Guardian.
Yes.
You'll see why I'm laughing at that in a
little
minute.
faux pas earlier.
Yeah.
It was intentional, right?
Oh, right, 100%, yeah, you know. You said make it memorable.
Yeah.
I've been here cutting the ribbon to open the new offices, or the refurbished offices, and we thought we'd do a little live video, but we know that people will be busy and they won't see it till later, so...
Oh, there's people there. Hello, yeah. Charlie.
The idea is we wanted people to send questions in, so if you've got any questions to ask Olivia, send them in. But what I wanted to do first is start with the basics. So how long have you been at the Farmers Guardian for?
I've been here for just over 12 years. So I started off as a reporter based in our London office, and then gradually worked up the ranks to becoming news editor, and then a couple of months ago became editor.
So when you say London office, did they have an office in London?
Yeah, we've always had a London office, particularly because of the political stories, and obviously wanting to be close to Westminster. So I was in Westminster quite a bit, and also living in London, it's easy access to get to Brussels, which I was over in Brussels quite a lot when we were part of the EU. So yeah, we've always had a London-based contingent just for those, and also, as you know, all the organisations are the main organisations are headquartered in London as well, so it was just making sure that we have that presence in the capital, really.
So how many people work in London?
So we used to have, I don't know, it was 20 to 30 people.
Really?
But only me on FG, but we were obviously part of a bigger business.
Oh, I'll get you now.
And obviously, as we've been gone through various different owners over the last few years, but yeah, we've always been FG has always been headquartered in Preston, where we are today.
Yeah, so this is the new office, so you'll see that video later. So in 12 years, what has been your proudest moment of reporting?
There's been many. I think as you know, and you're involved with a lot of our campaigns, so consumer-facing campaigns such as Farming Can, Take the Lead, are really important, because we know that what readers tell us time and time again is that, you can talk to us, but what we want you to do is go out and talk to the public. So that's been a massive part of my job. So, like you, appearances on BBC Breakfast, where you've got millions of viewers, you can speak to, millions of people in one go, I think is something. It's brilliant for the brand, and great for these causes which farmers really do care about. So things like, access to the countryside, making sure that we want people to come and enjoy the countryside, but we want them to do so safely. And things like Farming Can, which is an important campaign, wanting to demonstrate what farming delivers for things like the economy, for careers, things like that. And we really appreciate your support on that, because you are now a social media icon.
What's been like your biggest scoop that you thought, we'll get this out before anyone else does?
That's just a daily occurrence, Ollie. Yeah. I think, there's been some really big sort of political interviews that we've done, obviously interviewing various ministers, prime ministers. I think, just making sure that we are delivering what readers want us to, which is asking those difficult questions of the people in charge, and also of organisations that have a really important impact and can have a massive impact on and can make change as well. So I think,
So what's... Oh, someone's phoning again. So what's your...
Definitely won't want to speak to me.
Who's the most famous person that you've met through your job then?
What, not Jimmy Savile?
No, that was in a previous job I've had.
Yeah, Jimmy Savile and Brian Blessed was pre-Farmers Guardian.
Yeah, but through Farmers Guardian.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what, we talk to influencers on a daily basis. People like you who are now classed as an influencer.
I mean, like prime ministers or.
Yeah, I think we talked to. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon was probably a highlight.
Right.
Yeah, I think we obviously in our job we do get in front of the people you know, in charge of making the decisions that are affecting farming, right? But also influencers are by the very nature just that, aren't they? And I think they have content creators have a really big impact on people's lives and can actually, you know, affect change probably quicker. I mean, look at the Marcus Rashford thing. You know, they can actually have a massive impact. So I think farming's influences are also really important. So I was at an event last week. There was somebody from the Food Standards Agency talking and said that Jeremy Clarkson had actually acted as watching Clarkson's farm had actually been a massive education for him because he was from outside farming, didn't know anything about farming, and the amount of events that we're at and the people that we're talking to, and it's always Jeremy's name that comes up, which I think is really interesting. And obviously, you know, the reach there is phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah. So I remember it in an NFU might have been an NFU council meeting. We were talking about it, and Clarkson was bringing this show out, and loads of people rolled their eyes, and I was like, that could be the best thing that ever happens to agriculture, and it was. Yeah. You might have even been there, because when you used to go and write the notes at the back.
Yes. Usually there, hovering at the back with a notebook.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was really good. So, did you always want to be a reporter or an editor?
Yes, I did. So I was at school, and we had lots of careers. We had a few career sessions, and we had this massive big book of careers, and we were all sat there looking through this book, and I looked at journalists, and unfortunately it was the worst paid profession that there was in the book, I think.
What drew you to it then?
Well, I've always, I think it's almost a thirst.
Is it like watching Superman?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, you know.
What's it called? The Lois Lane effect. I feel like
yeah.
I've rolled off camera.
Yeah, I think telling people stories, it's all about, a naturally inquisitive nature, I'd say.
Nosiness.
Nosy, some people might say. But yeah, it sparks something, and it's just something I've always done. So I was told, like with many professions, that you won't get a job unless you've got lots of experience. Well, how do you get experience if you haven't got any? So what I did was I just started writing stories for the local paper, the Spunborough Guardian. Hi, Megs. The news editor there, Megs, she was just a brilliant news editor and gave me a shot, essentially. So I used to go to various different like scouts meetings and things like that, anything that I thought might be of interest to the local community. And then when it came to, I went to Sheffield Uni, did a journalism degree. In the background was contributing and editing quite a lot of entertainment magazines, so things like the Leeds Guide, being from Leeds, restaurant reviews, theatre reviews, that sort of thing. And then after my degree, a job came up at the Dewsbury Reporter Group, got that, and that was it, straight into it. But if I hadn't have had that work experience, and all that was for free, I did a lot of writing, because I love writing and telling stories, and if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have got my first gig. And then from that, it flowed from there.
Right, if anyone's got any questions, put them in. But I've got another one. So an editor, does that mean you have to read what everyone's written?
It's a lot of reading, yeah.
So literally you will sit there and be like, oh, I don't like this, take that out.
Yeah.
But does that not just take like all week?
Yeah, but I enjoy it. I think you have to. But yeah, we want the product to be the absolute best it can. And it does mean, you know, chopping and changing with things, much to the delight of our sub-editors who, you know, at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday when we're going to print and I say, can we just change this picture, it doesn't look right, or can we change the headline?
So a lot of it will be just a visual look as more than...
Yeah, absolutely. So we want the experience in print, you know, to be as... it's you know, we are unique in that we have still got a weekly print publication, as well as obviously everything we do online. So the print publication is obviously a really key part of the business, as you've seen today, in terms of how you know, how many staff there are working on it.
We're in an office now.
Yeah.
They're all downstairs in a big meeting.
There's a big meeting downstairs that we've been shut out of. But yeah, I think
there's actually more people on here watching us than there is downstairs. So it's got 100 people watching. But did anyone put any questions up? Because I wasn't looking at the camera. I just find it really weird because I hate reading, and I think that's your job.
So you will never be an editor then?
No. If someone wanted to get into it, then your advice would just be?
Yeah, I think so. The main piece of advice is if you really want to do it, it's working hard, and it's having that portfolio of stuff. So even if it is just writing a little report of something that you know you've maybe seen in the village or something like that, it's just getting it down and then just keep going at it. Because
there's a thing. Every week, you could have a guest reporter.
Yeah.
They can send you something in, and you can put it in. Yeah,
I think that's also really important. Why we've seen this decline in local news and regional news, and you know the Yorkshire Evening Post, was a huge Leeds publication, went online, but it has come back in an online guise, which I think's it's serving those communities, and people want to know news from their area, right? Yeah.
So Robert's just asked, are there any dyslexic editors?
It would be a challenge, I think, but that might be why you don't enjoy reading.
Yeah, well, I think that's why when I make videos, people say, oh, we learn a lot, or you show us in a way that we can understand, and I think it's because I have a visual mind, and yes. I know 2 or 3 other people that do YouTube who are also dyslexic, because it's easier to talk about something and show someone something than actually it is to...
Yeah, so there's one of our In Your Field columnists, Rachel Coates, who I'd urge you to check out online on our blog section, but she wrote a really great piece a couple of weeks ago, and a really interesting statistic that 25% of farmers are dyslexic, and I know obviously you've talked quite openly about it, and I think that, yeah, it might be quite difficult to be an editor, but like you say, with online content now, it's, people don't want the written word, do they? No. They want pictures, videos, and maybe a few words over the reel or something.
Yeah.
So there's no reason, is what I'm saying, is why you couldn't
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to edit the online content as well? Then?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got another.
Yeah, I mean, I don't edit everything, but.
What happened to the old building hours machine register for FG from 2009 to 2011? James Lane. 2009, 2011.
Hi, James.
It was always raining in Preston.
Yeah, so we're still, believe it or not, in the building in Fulwood Business Park in Preston. Yeah, it's still here. It's just got a fancy new look.
Someone said, will you be doing an article on James Price? I think they mean John Price, the guy with the river.
Oh yeah, we've got a piece. I think it was online last week. Check it out. And I think it's in this tomorrow's FG.
Someone's asking about the weather.
The weather? It's looking pretty rubbish. It was sunny this morning.
There's something else I was going to say, because you're on about getting started.
Another one.
Oh.
Postmove, yeah.
The 12 years is kind of a long time in media, because it's changed so fast. When you first started, I bet Facebook would have been here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Was Instagram? Probably not.
I don't think we did, no.
Twitter would have been there.
Yeah, we had Twitter. Yeah, that was in its infancy, actually. And it was at the stage, that time when it was like, is this really going to fly?
Yeah.
We've got Facebook, what else would we need?
Yeah. So, if you think of time-wise, how much of your time will go into online social content, and how much goes into the magazine content?
So I think that the print publication, as our subs like to call it, is the beast. It really is. It's over 100 pages every week, so it's quite a lot of work.
I know it feels thick, but I suppose it's the 1 page is 2, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously quite a nice hefty classified section, which I know you enjoy.
That's the best bit.
And I
Sorry,
think
sounds really bad.
You don't read any news.
No.
Don't read any of the editing stuff.
I feel like this chair's dead low and I've like sunk.
Yeah, I think it's changed in the sense that I think the social media landscape's changed and intensified. But I think we've always been, we've always strived to be first in digital on the website. I think that hasn't really changed. We've always kind of been digital first in a new sense, because we want to be the first.
Yeah, so that's...
Whereas I guess, in the more technical sections, you don't have to be. There isn't that race to get that feature on, because that isn't as time sensitive. Whereas me from a news background, obviously it's all about, you know, being first.
Yeah, so that was what I was going to say. So if you like, what trends on social media now is what the BBC or ITV or news crews will follow. So do you literally will say, well, that did well on social media, that didn't. We haven't got enough room in this week's publication. So you'll take it from the social media stats.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, we're probably it depends, doesn't it? It depends what it is. So we deal with such a large range of content. What flies on social probably won't fly in the mag.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, yeah. For example, the Erling Haaland thing where he tweeted that his magic potion was drinking a glass of milk. Well, we thought we'll just try that. You know, it's quite nice. Got a comment from AHDB and a farmer. Brilliant promotion for dairy. Did actually pretty well online. Few thousand views on the story. And same again, probably more on socials. But something like that you probably wouldn't use in the magazine. So you kind of treating.
Why not?
Because that's it's done, isn't it? It's happened. Whereas I guess if you were going to take that story for print, you'd treat it differently, wouldn't you? So you'd maybe do a piece on, you know, influencers or you know, people outside of farming who are promoting things like red meat and dairy.
Yeah.
Like what HDB do with Eat Balanced.
But I know I've seen you when there's been events that I don't know if it's your publication or another one, but when it was the NFU conference, they did like the top 10 trending tweets. I mean, do you do anything where you'd be like, what's been on the social medias this last week?
Yeah.
And you'll...
Yeah, I think so. So we've got a dedicated SEO person, for example. That's new. You know, that's a new role. So we've kind of adapted to, you know, meet those demands of social media and also what our readers expect from us as well.
No,
but there is a lot of. But come on, that stuff. There's a lot of clickbait there, and we're not really interested in that. What we want is we want to convert that web traffic into subscribers. We want people to subscribe to the publication.
Yeah.
Traffic's great. And that's brilliant, but what we're looking for is quite, you know, engaged people and with making valuable sort of connections rather than just a fly by night.
Yeah, but I just mean if you had a page that was like, this is what people have all been getting irate about or talking about. I didn't know whether that might be a thing because you'd be like, oh, I never saw that.
You've got the letters page, haven't you? And you know, we've
but someone's had to do that, not what you found, if you will. Like. I remember going around the NFU offices in 2015 and I couldn't believe that they had this one person that was on Twitter and Facebook. They were like the social media person. I was like, oh my God, they've got like this person that does like Twitter. I think they've got like 7 or 8 now.
You need a team.
Yeah, it's nuts. And that's the other thing as well. So obviously printing a thing, deadline's Wednesday, gets printed, whichever. You have the other publications as well, which you could probably remind people about, which is what Arable Farmer.
Yep. And dairy farming. Yeah.
Is there any others? Because there's loads on that window downstairs.
Yeah. What am I forgetting?
Well,
yeah, they're our main.
You have the shows as well.
Yeah, they're our main publications, and then obviously we've got quite a big stream of events and conferences as well. So we've obviously got the British Farming Awards, which I would urge you, please enter. Entries are open.
I won't bother. I had last year.
I didn't get anywhere. But yeah, we've got lots of obviously conferences and events happening. So yeah, we're part of, you know, quite a big business with lots going on, which you saw downstairs.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say then. We were talking about the socials, weren't we? And how many people were in that. It was an interesting point as well.
Oh,
was there any questions on there? Because it was a good one.
If there's anything else come up.
Can you make sure that similar stories are not duplicated to prevent readers becoming bored? I wonder what would they mean by similar stories?
Can you make sure that similar stories? Similar stories in terms of.
Sorry, that I've remembered.
Oh.
I've remembered. Before. I think did they mean in the letters? Maybe. That was it. So Monday to Friday, print the magazine. But does anyone work out of hours? I know you're doing it's Farm 24, but if something's really like, who's monitoring the socials if it kicks off on a Monday?
Yeah, I think we're all keeping an eye on it. Yeah, I think we have to.
So you don't dedicate someone. It's just because you're dedicated to your job that you do it.
We all need to keep an eye on it as you would. That's just life now,
yeah,
isn't it?
Well, that's no, because I mean, like, I remember I put a video out about people straying off footpaths, and it was
picked it up.
Well, I think someone did, but you know, a lot of that's out of hours.
And a lot of it happens on a weekend, isn't it? When everybody descends on the countryside. So
Yeah.
I think we and often Sunday is a bit hive of activity, isn't it? On Twitter, certainly, everyone likes to air the frustrations.
But you don't actually physically say you're on call this weekend to monitor the socials.
I think it's just part of the job now, isn't it? We're always on call
because everyone's got the phone in the pocket. What is the most popular platform that people read? Oh, sorry, I missed that. What?
And there's a similar one as well. What? Weather chat.
What's the most popular platform that people read the FG?
Yeah, so good question. So obviously the website is, you know, we obviously have really good traction on the website. We've got 250,000 people following us on socials, but also the print publication. So we're in a very unique position at FG that while print is generally in decline, which it is, FG's decline is a lot slower. And that is not just older farmers who you might think obviously want the tradition of it, and like you said with your parents, but also young people still read the magazine, and they still they're consuming the news on social media, on the mobile phones and on the website, but they still like that print publication. And I think what we try and do is make that experience slightly different in the mag. So we will produce perhaps longer form articles where people can just sit with the magazine and you know, digest that, rather than online when you just want that quick, tell me what I need to know.
In fact, out of the 130 people that watch at the moment, how many get the Farmer's Guardian more than once a month? Or how many people get it every day, every week?
Ideally, we'd like you to subscribe.
So that's, I don't know how much of this you want to go into, but obviously you buy the magazine, you get paid for it. You sell advertising space, then you have subscriptions for online services. How does that look as a pie chart? Where is the model nowadays for a...
So I think it's probably around, tricky one. In terms of a pie chart, I'd say it's about 2/3 subscriptions and 1/3 on news trade. So that's relying on, like you said, you know, traditionally people would go to the newsagent, and a lot of our readers don't want to, you know, they don't want to change that.
Yeah. You need something to put your cup down on.
Well, it is, and also it's thinking about newsagents and their business as well. Yeah. And a lot of the feedback is that people want to make sure that they go and buy that magazine from the local newsagent.
That's the point, isn't it? If they don't go for the magazine, they don't go for everything else, do they?
But it's obviously cheaper if you get a subscription.
Oh yeah, but you have an online subscription though, don't you?
Yeah.
But did you get that included if you've got the thing coming in the post?
So there's different packages, and we're constantly innovating in terms of what our packages offer, because, you know, the main goal for us is we want more people to be reading FG, whether it's in print or online. We're kind of refocusing that at the moment. So there's a big piece of work going on at the moment. It's all in line with this, you know, big digital strategy. We're not reinventing the wheel here. It just means that, you know, we're putting more focus and more resource into our digital offering, which, you know, we know that's where it is. That's what people want. So we're trying to deliver on that.
This is the bit that I don't understand. So the magazine gets printed and goes out to newsagents. Well, if it was something really controversial's happening and whatever, would you print more because you know you're going to sell more, or do you not have a clue, and once they're sold out, they're sold out?
That's definitely not my...
I just don't know how it works. Because, like, how do you know you've had a good week?
So obviously we closely monitor, you know, news trade sales. Yeah, obviously we know how many subscriptions we've got, but yeah, news trade can change. So a good example is we had a classic tractor.
Ooh.
Lights have gone off.
Everyone's gone home.
someone put some money
dance.
in the meter. Yeah, we had a classic tractor on the front page of the mag. I don't know, it was end of last year, and it was our best-selling issue of the year. So we thought, hang on a minute, okay, let's just test this again. So we had you might have seen it, the biggest collection of Massey Ferguson kit in the country, world, ever, I guess. It's one of the oldest. Our head of machinery went to see it. Fantastic, you know, piece of brilliant nostalgic kit, really great pictures. And we thought, well, we'll test this. Do people want to see those vintage pieces of kit on the front of the mag? So we put it in the top, we strapped it across the top of the magazine. And I've just seen this morning the figures for, it ran in beginning of March, the news trade sales were up over 200, which just shows that, you know, that might have caught the attention of someone that doesn't usually buy FG. So it's things like that, and I think testing things, you know, obviously that's our shop window, isn't it? So it's about trying things on that top strap where, you know, that's what you see in the shop, isn't it? You only see the top of the masthead.
But that's the thing. So you joked before about clickbait, but realistically your front page is clickbait, isn't it?
Well, it's all we have. It's all we have, isn't it?
Yeah. And I know that through videos. You know, I might go to somewhere really interested in a factory, seeing how things work, but because the front page isn't the thumbnail isn't like a tractor stuck or broken down or with the bonnet up. It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think when we as consumers of news, and you know, we're so busy, aren't we? And there's just things being chucked at us for angles. You know, we are in a very competitive environment, and we know that, and our job is really to, you know, attract that attention, isn't it?
I mean, they say, don't they, a picture tells 1,000 words, and if you get that right picture, and it's exactly the same with a thumbnail, and then I see that the online stuff is, if a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells 1,000,000. You know, and I think that's why social stuff works.
Any more questions before we wrap it on?
So, not a farmer, just an invested viewer. When did the Farmer's Guardian start? I can answer this one. 178 years ago.
It was, yeah. It was originally the Preston Guardian, and founded by Joseph Livesey.
Who is the FG's main competitor? Is there an FG level?
FG level?
Are they on the FG's level?
So obviously our biggest competitor is Farmers Weekly, who some of you may know.
Oh yeah. So, who's the biggest?
So they've got definitely a bigger readership. Yeah.
Really?
So I think they do about 35,000.
Oh, right.
And we do about 25,000.
Yeah, because originally the Farmer's Guardian was kind of northwestern, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
but it's national now anyway.
And it's definitely national, and we've got
been national for 40 years,
but we've got a big presence in Scotland as well, which we see as a really important part of our readership. You know, obviously, and obviously Wales has always been a real an FG stronghold. The areas that we probably have just always struggled is the southwest. You know, we've definitely made strides in that area, but at the end of the day, some people see us as a northern livestock paper. So yeah, even though, and I think like you were shocked, weren't you, when you came in and saw that we do have a arable farming magazine, which, you know, serves arable.
I know it, but
farmers,
I didn't realise it was you guys that did it.
You know, so I think it's about that awareness, isn't it? And we've got, you know, a great story to tell, and I think coming here today you can appreciate. I think until you see it.
I thought there'd be like 10 or 12 people here, not 80.
Well, there's none now.
yeah, they're all downstairs cheering and enjoying themselves. I thought one had just flashed up there, one of the questions. Anyway, we've been talking half an hour now, so we'll bring it to an end.
Another glass.
We've been celebrating. So, thanks everyone for watching. If you've only watched the live and not watched today's video, if you go back and watch today's video, you'll see some of today having a look around the office. Thanks to Olivia for, lights gone off again. Thanks to Olivia for giving up a time as well and missing the meeting that she's supposed to be downstairs.
Thanks, Ollie.
We'll see you all later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'll just turn it off. I always do this. Little accident up there. There we go, end.